Have you ever wondered if there are colors out there that you've never seen? I'm not talking about a shade of blue you haven't discovered yet. I mean colors that your eyes physically cannot perceive. It sounds like something out of science fiction, right? Well, it's very real. And today we're going on a journey to explore the world of these impossible colors. First, let's do a quick refresher on how we see color. Inside our eyes, we have specialized cells called cones. Most humans are meaning we have three types of cones. One is most sensitive to red light, another to green, and the third to blue. Your brain then takes the signals from these three cones and mixes them together to create the entire spectrum of colors you see every day. Think of it like a TV screen with its red, green, and blue pixels. By adjusting the brightness of each, it can display millions of different colors. Our brain does something very similar. Now, this system is amazing, but it has its limits. A key limitation is something called opponent process theory. This theory suggests that our color perception works in pairs. We can't see reddish-green or yellowish. Why? Because the same neural pathway is used to signal both red and green, but in opposite directions. It's like a switch. It can be flipped to red or green, but it can't be in both positions at the exact same time. The same goes for the yellow-blue pathway. When you stare at a bright red square for a minute and then look at a white wall, you'll see a green afterimage. That's your red-detecting cone cells getting tired, and the opponent green signal temporarily taking over. This is where things get really interesting. These forbidden or impossible colors, like reddish-green or yellowish, are colors our brain is theoretically capable of perceiving if we could just stimulate the opponent cones simultaneously. But our eyes are hardwired to prevent this. It's a biological roadblock. So, how can we possibly see them? Scientists have actually designed experiments to try and trick the brain into seeing these impossible colors. One famous experiment, conducted by Hewitt, Crane, and Thomas Piantanida in the 1980s, used a special device called N. This device could project two different colors, say red and green, onto a person's retina with incredible precision. They would present a vertical red stripe to one part of the eye and a vertical green stripe to another, right next to each other. The eye tracker ensured that as the eye naturally moved and jiggled, the boundary between the red and green stripes stayed perfectly fixed on the same retinal cells. Normally, if you just look at red and green stripes side by side, your brain will either see them as separate colors, or if they're small enough, it might mix them into a muddy brown or yellow. But with the eye tracker, something different happened. The boundary between the colors seemed to dissolve. Participants in the study reported seeing a color they had never seen before. They struggled to describe it. Some said it was like seeing red and green at the same time, in the same place, without them mixing. It wasn't brown. It was a completely new color experience. A true reddish green. Imagine trying to describe the color red to someone who has only ever seen black and white. That's the kind of challenge these participants faced. They were seeing a color for which we have no name and no reference in our daily lives. The same effect was reported for yellow. The experiment managed to bypass the opponent process and stimulate both the yellow and blue signals at once, creating another impossible color. Another type of impossible color is called a chimerical color. These are experienced through We talked about the red-green afterimage trick earlier. Let's take it a step further. If you stare at a bright cyan circle for about a minute and then look at a pure yellow surface, the orange afterimage you'd normally see on a white background will mix with the yellow. Your brain will perceive a color that's even more vibrant and saturated than the yellow itself. This is called a hyper-yellow. A yellow that's yellower than physically possible with normal light. It's a temporary illusion created by fatiguing one set of cones and then stimulating another. You can try a version of this right now. Find a pure magenta object or image online. Stare at its center for a solid 60 seconds without blinking if you can. Now, quickly look over at something green, like a houseplant or a green piece of paper. The afterimage of the magenta, which is green, will superimpose on the real green object, making it appear intensely, almost supernaturally green. That's a chimerical green. It's an illusion. But for a moment, you're seeing a color that doesn't exist in the physical world. So we have forbidden colors like reddish green and chimerical colors like hyper. But the world of unseen color doesn't stop there. Our human vision is just a tiny slice of the entire electromagnetic spectrum. We see the part called visible light, which ranges from red to violet, but beyond red, there's infrared. And beyond violet, there's ultraviolet. Many animals can see these colors. Bees, for example, are masters of ultraviolet vision. To us, a yellow flower might just look plain yellow, but to a bee, that same flower might have intricate patterns of ultraviolet light on it, acting like a glowing bullseye that points directly to the nectar. These patterns are called nectar guides. It's a completely different visual world. What we see as a solid color, AB sees as a complex, patterned landing strip. Similarly, some snakes, like pit vipers, have special organs that can see infrared radiation. This isn't seeing with their eyes in the traditional sense, but they can detect the heat signature of their prey. To them, a warm mouse in a cool, dark room would glow brightly. It's a form of thermal vision. They are perceiving a part of the spectrum that is completely invisible to us, giving them a huge advantage when hunting at night. Even some humans might be able to see more colors than others. It's a condition called tetra. Remember how most of us have 3 types of cones? Well, some people, almost exclusively women, are born with a genetic mutation that gives them a 4th type of cone. This 4th cone is thought to be sensitive to a color somewhere between red and green in the orange-yellow range, while having 4 cones doesn't automatically grant you color superpowers. For some tetrachromats, their brain learns to interpret the signals from this 4th cone. The result: they can perceive distinctions in color that are completely invisible to the rest of us. Where a trichromat might see a single, solid shade of orange, a tetrachromat might see a beautiful mosaic of 100 subtly different hues. Scientists estimate that a true tetrachromat could see up to 100 million colors, compared to the 1 million that most of us can see. One famous tetrachromat, an artist named Concetta Antico, describes her vision as a kaleidoscope of color. For her, a simple gray pebble isn't just gray. It's filled with oranges, pinks, blues, and greens. The world is a much more vibrant and colorful place for her. It's fascinating to think that there are people walking among us who are experiencing a richer, more detailed version of reality than we can even imagine. So, the colors you see every day are just a fraction of what's out there. There are the impossible colors. Our brains are tricked into seeing the chimerical colors born from optical illusions. The ultraviolet and infrared light that other species use to navigate their world. And the supervision of human tetrachromats. It really makes you wonder, what else are we missing? Our perception of reality is filtered through our biology. And it's a powerful reminder that what we see isn't necessarily all there is. The universe is painted with a palette far grander than our eyes can behold. Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive into the world of color. If you found this as fascinating as I do, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more explorations into the amazing world of science. Let me know in the comments which of these impossible colors you'd most want to see. See ya in the next video.